Hey, it's Monday and you're back. We're back. It's David and Bryant. We got a good guest again. You guys should know him. Korey Davis right here. Great guest. We had him on the show a couple weeks ago and we were breaking down the ultimate offense. So again, the 49er talk with David and Bryant. And we're going to try to break down the best and come up with our humble opinion, the ultimate 49er defense. So if there's somebody that we leave off, hey, we apologize. It's just a humble, it's just us fun going together, putting our brains together, and coming up with what we think might be a decent defense. You can't have everybody on the team because, well, we've had a lot of good players. So thank you guys for coming, and let's start it out. Hey, since Korey's the guest, Korey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Glad that was early.
Nice.
And got out early. So
that's always nice. Always nice when you can go in early and get out early. And David, I know a little bit about your day, so if you want to elaborate or if you want to tell the folks overall how your day went, that's great. Some days are better.
It started out horrible when that guy backed into my Camaro and put a trailer hitch in my back bumper. That wasn't pleasant. I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, my day went good. And the car is still drivable. It's just the bumper cover. Luckily, they missed all the proximity sensors, lights, and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, hopefully they can just put a new boot on it for you, and it can be taken care of. It's not fun, when you get hit because then they have especially the new cars. New cars have a bumper and then they have a bumper underneath, and then it's just
it's the diffuser underneath, and I don't know if that's damaged or not. It's dealing with their insurance company is always a good time. They're going to be like, well, here, we'll just write you a check. Go get you a bumper cover. It's like, nope, it's going into a body shop. Y'all can handle it with them just in case something else is wrong, Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, Ryan's asking. Ryan's being funny, I think. So if you guys don't know about No Border Sports, please go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel as well. He's one of our good buddies. So did you see your mom today, David?
I actually had to. I had to go see her for a minute. Yep. And she asked about this chick that commented on a Facebook post, and it was like, I was just like, yeah, I know her.
Yeah, I think that's what he was alluding to. So nice. My mom lives down the street from me, like literally 5 houses. So it's pretty cool. I get to see her pretty often, and it's awesome. When you're around your family and you got good, good support and everybody's on good terms. That's awesome. It really is. All right, guys. I apologize if you don't mind, David. I'm gonna go holler at a little girl real quick, and I'm gonna let you
daddy duty. Daddy duty comes first, buddy. You're good. Yep. I mean, all time great defense, Korey. We've had some good players. I actually have a list of who I'd pick already. But I mean, we've had some good players, so it's hard not to include everybody. It's like, can we include all the guys on the bench too?
Yep.
Because we're gonna have 11 starters. So can we have 11 bench guys? I mean, it's just no. I'm just I don't know how it's gonna work.
Yep. The girls.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I actually I called their insurance about my Camaro back bumper. I was like, bro. He's like, send me a picture, and I took a picture of it. I took a picture of the back of the vehicle, which it's a company vehicle, and I'm not naming the company. I don't do that. And the license plate got their insurance car. I sent it all to the guy just so he'd have everything. Haven't heard back from him. It probably takes a couple days for all the processing to happen. Patience. Yep.
All right. So appreciate everybody, for coming, and appreciate you even if you get to come back and rewatch. David, you brought up a good point. We've had a lot of good players on our teams. Do we have enough room to put some people on the bench and call them part of our ultimate defense? It's our show. Why not? Why not? Right. So if there's a couple players that we might put on our starting lineup, but we might need a couple honorable mentions, let's do that. So between me and Tony, we have put together a couple pictures of some guys, and I have some stats. So let's get into this. We were talking the other day about this character, and he might not be on the ultimate team, but I definitely believe he deserves an honorable mention. So let's start out the show with Little Bear. So of course he's coming up on a contract. He's going to be asking for the bag, and I think at this point he definitely deserves it. He's the first one to have 18 sacks since, oh my gosh, it's Cedric Hardman. And Cedric Hardman played from 1970 to 1979. So you're telling me from 1979 we didn't get another player on this great team to come up with 18 sacks?
Well, what did Aldon Smith have his rookie season? Wasn't it 19?
I don't believe Aldon Smith had 19. I'll look it up on my phone real quick.
I mean, we can find that out real quick.
He came really close.
I mean, I thought, well, I don't know if he did pretty good. We were all thinking it was the next coming of Charles Haley, but
Yeah, for sure. Aldon Smith was a beast. Aldon Smith, rookie year.
Uh-oh. Good thing. Well, I was thinking about washing the Camaro this morning too. Yeah, that was kind of. Now it's raining.
Oh boy.
Just one of those days, folks. Mama said there. Oh, okay, I won't.
You can go. You can sing it if you know the words. It's only a shame if sin if you don't know the words, right? If I'm correct, he had 37 total tackles and 14 sacks.
Okay.
For Aldon Smith.
That sounds about right.
So again, like this guy right here, Bosa, and Cedric Hardman are the only two players to come up with 18 sacks. And this guy, Cedric Hardman, again, the last play he had was in 1979. So from 1979, what we got Bosa in 2019, 2018, we got Bosa. So it's been that many years. So I would definitely say that Bosa deserves an honorable mention, but I'm putting Cedric Hardman on the line. I'm putting him on our team if you guys don't mind. Okay. So let me give you a little bit of stats for him. He's a two-time Pro Bowler. 1971 recorded 18 sacks. Considered undersized at only 255 pounds, but Hardman's speed and reaction time posed a threat for opposing offensive linemen. So he had something like that swim move or something like that before it was even known. So shout out to the Beach Boys and the guys on West Coast. Maybe that's where it came from. All right, so I think this is going to get everybody's blood moving a little bit, not in an angry way, but I just think we're going to be all energized after we see this guy. So bringing him in, and again, Korey, David, if you have thoughts, memories of any of these players we're bringing up, or you want to add to somebody either or during the show, just bring it up. So we're going to go to probably, probably one of a lot of people's top 5 favorite 49ers. I'll throw them in the top 5.
Yeah. Prime time.
Yes.
I mean, he was only with us for a year, but what he did in that year, it was amazing.
Yes. Deion Sanders, he's that guy. He's that guy that can play wide receiver or corner. He's not the biggest tackler, but because he can catch, he sure can score too. So if he gets the ball in his hand, he's looking to score. He's not looking at anything else.
And he takes one side of the field away from the quarterback. Quarterbacks weren't afraid to throw in his directions. They had to know where he was. So he took one side of the field away from the quarterbacks to throw. Only the big time quarterbacks would attempt to go throw his way.
Yeah, he basically put quarterbacks, or he became that island before Darrell Revis did. Before he became that island in New York. So, yeah, that's really good player. It's sad that we lost him. I think we alluded to it the other night. It was because of possibly Jerry Rice and him not getting along so much. He brought a lot of energy to the team. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think he rented a Lamborghini or bought a Lamborghini the day before the Super Bowl. And Jerry Rice was super mad at him because he's like, "What are you doing driving around in a Lamborghini right before the day of the Super Bowl? And we got to be focused." And I remember Dion talking about this later and saying that, with him, he was always energized, having a fun, like here for the now, like we're enjoying it now. And where Jerry just was that dedication and that total, commitment to excellence, the commitment to just, striving to be better and better. He didn't get to enjoy it. And Jerry Rice has now even come out to say it too. He didn't mean he didn't enjoy the time he took him or his experience, but where some people are laughing, Jerry Rice wasn't laughing most of the time. Jerry would laugh after they won the game. Jerry would celebrate after they won the game. But the day after the Super Bowl, the day after they win the Super Bowl, Jerry Rice is back on the field the very next morning running laps. So, so some guys, they're all about work, and they can rest after they retire. And some guys want it all when they can get it. And I like both aspects. I respect both sides of it. I really do. Some people work too hard, and some people play around too much. So, what are you guys' thoughts on Dion again? Should we have kept him longer, or do you think we're kind of true on that?
I wish we could have kept him longer. I wanted him to say, I was like, "Come on, man, sign him back. Then he went to the hateful team.
Yeah.
Well, truth be told, Jerry Jones knew the secret sauce back then. He knew how to cheat the salary cap, and how you did it and is signing bonus. Now the signing bonus actually counts towards the cap hit. So that they literally changed the rules because of Jerry Jones. So that's how he got that team and actually kept them together was, he gave them all big signing bonuses and small salaries.
Yeah. And he was able to do it right before the salary cap happened, right before everything got buttoned down. And he was able to continue success after our little stint, because our franchise kind of went into a dismay because we lost our ownership. We lost our leadership. And, you can only lose so many players without having a sound leader at ownership. It doesn't matter who's on your team. You can have the best players. Yeah, the best players in the world. But if your leader doesn't put them in the right direction or get somebody to lead them to the goal, then you're just paying a bunch of guys, and that's what ended up happening with us.
Yeah, I remember the play when we were playing against Dallas, the 49ers, and Dion. First we had Dion on Michael Irvin because he was supposed to be the top dog, but we was having trouble with Alvin Harper. So they put Dion on Alvin Harper and just double team Irvin.
Yeah. They were doing some tricky stuff back then because we were getting lit up and we didn't have another person to step up and take control. Okay, so this guy's next player is a little bit more out of my age, so I'm hoping you guys might know cornerback Don Griffin. And again, these aren't going to be every player, but these are going to be players that need notable mention to be definitely mentioned on our all top defense. And again, they might not everybody's favorite player might be here, but these are guys that we should probably talk about. So do you guys have any thoughts on Mr. 29, Don Griffin?
He was a good corner.
Yeah,
But you know, I actually have Eric Wright a little slated a little bit above him. Eric Wright was 1981 to 85, and then came back to us in 88.
Yeah. With the frizzy hair, kind of, and the reporter now. Yep. Eric Wright was a solid player as well. Don Griffin, I'd like to pull up his stats here for a second. So give me a second. I have notes and I have my phone. So let me pull up Don Griffin because I know he's notable.
I forgot about him.
See, it's like we have so many good players. It's hard to keep up with everybody.
And you put a picture up. I said, "Oh, Don Griffin, I know him. Forgot all about him."
Okay, so Donald Frederick Griffin is a former professional American football player. We know that, who was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in the 6th round in 1986, the year I was born. So that's why I like him, right? The NFL draft at 6 and 176 pounds, 6 foot and 6 foot. So he's not a super tall guy, and he's 176 pounds, quarterback from Middle Tennessee. So shout out to the Volunteers. We got a good one. And let's see what else they say about him. Don Griffin, I like his socks. Those are my favorite socks. Okay, so while my phone's loading, we're going to move on to our next player because my eyes bug at a certain time, so I can't read that. This is defensive back, Daryl Pullard.
Daryl Clark, yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts on him? Do you guys have any memorable moments?
No, I don't.
Okay. He's definitely during the Super Bowl era, so I believe he's been significant during a stint with our team. Again, I don't have too much information on him, but he's one of our notable players that we should bring up. Okay, so in the next cornerback we're going to talk about is Bruce Taylor. Now this guy's old. You guys can see that. These are some old pictures. Me and Tony both were working on this, so this is why it's a little choppy. But he is one of those guys again. So really quickly, before we go too much further, we have Don Griffin, Bruce Taylor, Ahmed Plummer, Jimmy Ward. We have Marquise Pope, Nate Clements. We have Terrell Brown. We have Daryl Pullard, which we have right here. Oh, we just seen. And now Abe Woodson, Dante Johnson. So we've had some good players at these positions. We're going to move on.
Don't forget about Eric Davis.
That's one that's definitely a good one. And he's on my list. So he's on my list, but on the side, because some of these are corners and some of these are safeties. So for defensive backs, linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks, linebackers aren't the same thing. But we are going to honorably mention Ronnie Lott, Deion Sanders, Eric Wright, Eric Davis, Merton Hanks, Jimmy Johnson, and Rod Woodson. So our next one.
I mean, if I had a choice for starters, I would be starting I would probably start Eric Wright and Eric Davis on the outside, Deion Sanders in the nickel, Merton Hanks and Ronnie Lott. That would be my defensive backfield.
I like that one. I really like that. You gotta have a big hitter in there, and you got Ronnie Lott. So I like that.
Merton Hanks because of the chicken dance. I mean, how can you not shout that out?
You gotta have that with the neck bobble and everything. Yeah, gotta have that.
Mine will be Ronnie Lott, Tim McDonald, Rod Woodson, and Deion Sanders, and Eric Davis.
So I get confused a little bit. Is Ronnie Lott a cornerback, a free safety, or is he a linebacker? Because it's the same.
He's a free safety.
Thank you. Because I get confused a little bit too with Dwight Clark. Sometimes you read stuff and it says he's a tight end, and sometimes you read stuff and it says he's a wide receiver.
You know what? I think Ronnie Lott, he did start as a defensive back, then they moved him to safety.
He was a corner I think the first 4 or 5 seasons, and then they moved him back to safety.
Okay. So this is Jimmy Johnson. Now we're gonna jump into some. So basically, okay, really quickly, my starting lineup is basically the same as yours. I would say Eric. Let's put Dion out there. Let's get both Eric Wright, Eric Davis. Let's put Ronnie Lott out there. Deion Sanders. There's 4 right there. And yeah, I'd throw Merton Hanks out there somewhere. And we have other players that could come in, and again, we've got a lot of players on this team. But I think if you put those guys together, I think that's a solid defensive back. Okay, so we're going to move on to some linebackers. I got to say, this guy's got to have an honorable mention. He might not be on everybody's starting, linebacking core, but when he was teamed up with Patrick Willis, these guys were the best 2 in the league. So move on real quick. Again, we've had a lot of good players. This guy might not have had.
He was mean.
Yeah,
he was so mean.
He might not have been necessarily the best attitude, or maybe the person you want to take home to mama. But this guy's who you want on your football team. He's going to get you fired up. He's going to want you to run through. You're going to run through a wall after this guy, but you don't want to be playing against this guy because, again, sometimes he might just exchange some bodily fluids or something. You might walk away with spit in your face or something. And it is about competition. It is about competing. I can't tell you that, you should spit in somebody's face to play a sport game against them. But if that throws you off your game a little bit, well, then, okay. Bill Romanowski didn't really need to do that to throw people off his game. He was that good. But when he first started playing football, he was getting dominated by other players. So he started working harder and harder so he wouldn't. And he made it to be where other people weren't going to be able to talk trash about him. And he got it in his mindset that you're not going to outwork me, and you're not going to beat me. I don't care if you're bigger than me. You won't be stronger, and I got more heart. So shout out to Bill Romanowski. Made it around to a lot of different football teams. And, when I found out he was a 49er, he had already, I think, won his 2nd Super Bowl with the Broncos, and I was like, wow. So made me think of him a little bit differently. And like him when he was a Bronco. Your guys' thoughts on Bill?
Yeah, I didn't like him that much when he spit in people's face and all that tactic he did, But he was a good linebacker. He did play rough and tough, but I didn't like his personality.
But when it comes down to it, his personality did suck, but he was a great player, and he's that mean guy that you just need on the defense to remind everybody, hey, we ain't here to be nice guys. We're here to win football games.
Most definitely, he was mean. He was very mean. 1988 to 1993, he's known for his vicious and vigorous play style. And he had 445 tackles in 96 games. So he definitely put it out there. This is an older one, guys. I don't have too much on him. I have some stats. If you guys know anything about him, but definitely an honorable mention to Matt Hazeltine.
I don't know about
All right.
him.
So the reason we're bringing him up is he played from 1955 to 1968, 2-time Pro Bowler. From 1963 to 1965, he played 190 games for the 49ers at linebacker. He played for 15 seasons. This guy was a 49er for 15 seasons.
Wow.
He's awarded his awards named after him annually to the most courageous and inspirational defensive player, the Matt Hazeltine Award. Potential 350 to 450 tackles. So they don't have a quite accurate amount of tackles, but he had between 350 to 450 tackles during his time with the team. So we're going to jump to a guy that we probably all love. Keenan Turner.
Team Turner, yeah.
He played from 1980 to 1999. One-time Pro Bowler in 84. Played 11 seasons with the 49ers. Um, he won some Super Bowls. He won 4 Super Bowls with us. And let's see. He announces for the team. He does a lot of other stuff for the team. Really good, solid player. We're going to get to another current player that we know. And if you guys want to elaborate or you have any honorable mentions or, anybody for any of these players, let's go ahead and pull up.
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner.
I think if he continues on his trajectory, his playing style continues just to be solid like it is right now, I'd like to see a couple more interceptions, of course, but I think he's definitely the captain.
You even got a picture of him with that C on the jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Patrick Willis. And I've said it before. I don't know if I said it on my show or someone else's show, but if I could have given this guy my toes, I would have given him my toes. I don't know if he would have needed them, if they would have done him any good, but that's why he retired early, because he had some toe issues. So shout out to Patrick Willis. We wish we could have got a ring with you. You definitely give us something to cheer for. You are like our Frank Gore on the defense. We only had Frank Gore on offense there for a while. We had you, buddy. We appreciate you. I would definitely be putting him in my linebacking core, or at least he's definitely going to be second string. He's got to be in there. So we'll have him rotating in and out. Okay, so
I'll have him, Fred Warner, and Navarre Bowman. And Green. No.
I would actually have I'd have Patrick in the middle. I'd kick Fred the outside, and let him cover tight ends because he can cover wide receivers downfield. That guy he's amazing. And I would actually have Julian Peterson as the third linebacker, the guy that will get rotated out for Deion Sanders to come in at nickel.
Yeah.
I would absolutely hate to play against this defense, though. Oh my goodness.
All right, so we got a couple more notable members. We're gonna jump past them for a second. We might come back. My wife was helping me with some of these, so we got like Mosley. I think he's cool, but I don't think he's quite to par yet. We need to see a little bit more out of him. K'Wan Williams, we need to see a little bit more out of him. Just a little too new, We're gonna pop in Jimmy Ward real quick. Great competitor, been on the team forever. Used to make me so mad when he was hurt. I'd call him Hospital Ward. But when he was healthy and at the end of the Niners career with him, he definitely played pretty solid. But I think it's okay that we're moving on. I think we're gonna be okay, and I think he's in good hands in Texas. So, but let's jump back to a year and time where the Niners were just awesome, right?
Oh man.
That right there is a beautiful picture of Ronnie Lott. And if you guys don't know about Ronnie Lott, please look his stats up. I have stats, but I don't have everybody's written down. Ronnie Lott is awesome. He's got to be on everybody's starting lineup. And yeah, he's a defensive back. That's what we have him listed down here. The guy probably could play every position. You probably could put him in corner, put him in slot. You could put him at nickel. You could put him, in the middle. You could put him everywhere. I think the guy could probably play linebacker too. He's just that kind of guy.
Honestly, I like the picture because he's scoring it's almost like either a fumble recovery or a pick six, and you see the Vikings in the background looking very deflated.
Oh my gosh, love it! I love it. All right, so
in the background, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's Vikings in the back, and they're laying on
the ground.
I'm talking
about Griffin. He's back there too.
Okay, so we're going to jump into the cowboy, and I think this is a perfect picture next to a cowboy. And You guys know about Justin Smith? He played in the league for a very long time. He played with the Bengals. When we got him, he was at the end of his career. We had a couple, 4 years, 4 or 5 solid years out of him. I think we did.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm giving him 1 year too many, but Justin Smith, he was that guy that it really didn't matter. It really didn't matter if we had Alden Smith or we had somebody else. When he was on that other side, you had to account for him. And by putting somebody like Alden Smith on the other side, or putting another beast of a player like that, anybody could have fed. They were just this guy took and made football fun. And again, he was one of those players that once we got this guy, our defense really become formidable. People were having a harder time running on us. They were having a harder time throwing on us. It is just the sacks were coming. It was like, hey, shout out to the Cowboy. So, you guys' thoughts of Justin Smith?
He was a difference maker, straight up. He could play inside, outside. It didn't matter where you put him. He had that motor. He had the moves. And I honestly loved having him. Turns out he played for us for 7 seasons, Bryant.
7. Okay, so I wasn't too far off. I said 5, but I thought I was giving him too much.
7 seasons.
And he's the one who helped Alden Smith get all them sacks because he would take 2 players on. He'll take all the person that will be blocking. Alden Smith would take him too.
Yep.
Yeah. Boom! We got both players. So, which they was talking about. I think that's why they call defensive holding now online because him.
Wasn't he playing with a torn bicep, or was it I don't know if it's a labrum, but wasn't he playing with something that was torn up here for 2 or 3? I don't know if it was that many seasons, but
I think he had an arm brace on. I think it was a bicep, but he was still doing his thing, though. You know.
Shout out to the Cowboy. We really appreciate you. Solid 49er. Okay, this is probably one of the guys that we all love. I'm strongly a big fan of this guy, and I know you both are.
Oh, it.
Yep.
For the chat, if you don't know who this is BY. This is Bryant Young. This is the man, the myth, the legend. This is Mr. 49er. He was on our team 94 to 2007. I don't cry too often, and it's got to be something really bad, like your dog died, or like your mom, or shout out to all moms. Don't ever want to hear that happen. But when Bryant Young retired, I was just like, oh my gosh. I was so happy that he stayed at 49er as long as he did. But I got to tell you, he meant a whole lot to me. I had an opportunity to meet him a couple of times, and I got really close. But I always seemed to get to the booth when he was walking away, or when he was, I don't know, maybe I was there too early or something. But I met Junior Bryant, and Bryant Young was the guy I wanted to meet. So he's on my bucket list. If I get to meet a 49er player, I'd like to meet Bryant Young. Big guy from Notre Dame. He's a great player. So your guys' thoughts on BY? Do you have any memorable moments or anything that you'd like to say about Bryant Young?
I actually remember him that injury he had to his fibula. It wasn't a compound fracture, but it was really bad. It was one of those could possibly end his career type of thing, but he came back from it strong. He was a lifelong 49er, never played for another team, probably didn't want to play for another team. And I mean, he's a great guy too, good locker room presence, great leader. It's kind of like I wish we could resurrect him and have a young version of him on this squad.
Yep, he is. He was tough. Got a lot of sacks in the middle. Stopped the run. You know, he was. I like Brian Young.
Yeah, he was very, very formidable. He was solid. He wasn't like a super big talker, but when he did talk, people listened to him. He was a leader of the locker room. Now, when he broke his fibula, I can't remember if it was 96, but something tells me he broke his leg the same time, the same year that Jerry Rice broke his. Am I correct?
I think so. I think you're right.
We might. I'll go back and look that up. But when Jerry
I mean,
Rice had,
it's pretty close. You know, it was a long time ago, but it's pretty close.
I think that was like the 96, 97 season. I'll have to double check, but I think those two players going down really crippled the Niners that year. But that's why you play the game too. And shout out to him being able to come back. And like David said, that was a devastating injury, but the guy got healthy and came back. So here's another defensive lineman. This is a little bit older than my time. He's from 1981 to 85. Fred Dean, number 74. Got to bring him out here. He's one of those guys. He's Super Bowl winner. He did a lot for the team. One of those guys, if you put him next to somebody like Bryant Young or somebody next to, the Cowboy, this guy is going to eat. He's going to definitely eat. And right now, what I say, guys, is we're going to look at all these players. We've looked at offense already. We're going to look at defense, and then we'll do a special team show. And then if we do a show again, I'll talk to you guys, and we'll get our numbers together, our players together, and each one of you guys can present your official offense or your official defense. But for right now, we'll flip through these guys and give them honorable mentions. And I think Fred Dean deserves it, and he's going on my line. I'm putting him next to Bryant Young. So, you guys' thoughts on Fred Dean? Did you have any memorable moments, or do you guys want to say anything that you remember about him doing?
I don't remember him that much.
Okay. Again, from 81 to 85, so he's got some Super Bowl rings, but yeah, he's an older 49er. It's hard to. So, okay, we're gonna move on to Michael Carter, another 49er, another older 49er.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
All right, then we'll move on from him real quick. We brought this one up as well. He's defensive lineman. This is Charlie Kruger for number 70. 1959 to 1973. And he's passed away. And he was a good 49er. I'll bring up more stats for him next time we talk here, guys. We're coming pretty close on our time limit, so I'm going to start going through this a little bit faster. You guys remember Dana?
Dana Stubbsfield. He was next to Brian Young.
He was a good player when he was with us, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think we need to talk about the end result.
No, he left us to go make more money, and he went to the Washington Redskins, and then we ended up getting him back. And I think when we got him back, that was nice, but it would have been nicer if we would have been able to have him the entire time. But we got Bryant, Junior Bryant, I think, during that time, so I think he was a decent player too. So. Okay, so we're going to go into defensive end. Tommy Hart. And I know these are some old players, so guys, please stick with me. He played from 1968 to 1977. And there's something about the 53. If a player gets slapped with 53 on their uniform and they're a 49er, it's almost like an omen that they're going to be a decent player. We had Fred Olbrich. We had Bill Romanowski. We've had Navarro Bowman. And now Tommy Hart, maybe Tommy Hart was the one who started it all. Again, we're going to flip through these pretty quick. We'll come back and we'll revisit this and have more stats for all these players. Now, this is an old player. It's you're looking for number 73. He's up there on the top. This is the one that we're always talking about in Corey's book. Defensive tackle, Leo Nominelli. Nominelli. I can't say it. I'm sorry. I tried. But he played from 1950 to 1963. I can't do it. But, all right, we have defensive lineman Ed Hinkie. Sorry if I butcher your name. Apologize. We're looking at number 75, the guy down here in the corner next to Y.A. Tittle, number 14.
Mm-hmm.
He played with the 49ers from 1951 to 52. And I think it looks like he came back. It looks like he came back for, I'm sorry. It looks like he came back and had another stint with us in 1956. Okay, so we're going to jump again, guys. Defensive lineman, Cedric Hardman. This is the one we were talking about earlier. So this guy right here, he was Matt Hazeltine was who we were talking about. I'm sorry, Hardman. Defensive lineman Cedric Hardman played from 1970 to 79. And he was definitely a good 49er. We had some tough years from 1970, 71. I want to say 69, 70, 71. We went to the playoffs. So it was nice that this guy was able to have some kind of success with the team. Kid Norton. Corey got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Corey got it. So Ken Norton's really cool. He's been like a 49er, fan favorite for a long time. A lot of people love Ken Norton, but the one thing that you got to say is like, really, coaching in Seattle now?
Cowboys.
Seattle? Yeah, Eddie went to the Cowboys.
He would. Mm-hmm. That's where we got him from. Cowboys. He was first of Cowboy, then he came to a Niner.
Yep. Sometimes it works out a little bit better that way. I don't know if he was our guy we got because of Haley. He was supposed to replace Haley. I don't know, but I know he was needed for the time that we had. He was definitely a good player. It crippled Dallas when we got him. I don't think we had him for too many seasons. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 seasons. But yeah, I think now he is a defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, if I'm correct.
No, he left.
Oh, he left. Okay.
He left.
Okay.
I don't know where he is now, but I know they let him go because their defense was struggling.
I think he made his choice. It was between the 49ers and the Seahawks, and I think he chose to go to the Seahawks, and that's fine. Go play up there. Go coach up there. That's fine. But shout out to you during the time that you were here with the 49ers. We appreciate your time. And guys, appreciate everybody.
Was a boxer.
What's that, Corey?
His daddy was a boxer.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Ken Norton Senior is a boxer. He was a boxer.
Okay.
That's why when he goes to the end zone, that's why you see his celebration is punching on the bag, the goalpost bags.
That makes sense now.
His daddy was a boxer.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense, Corey. That's a solid little memory and a cool fact that you dropped. All right, guys, I'm going to drop our last player for our ultimate defense. And again, we will come back. We will revisit this, and we will accumulate with our thoughts on the sidelines and behind scenes. And the next time I will try to have us where all 3 of us will have our own offense and defensive lineups. The next episode will be in 2 weeks. It will be about special teams. We'll do a little different than what we did here. These are a little bit more of honorable mentions. But our last player, and I would like to hear both your guys' thoughts on him.
Alden Smith.
Yep.
He would have been a great player if he just could handle his liquor. Get some help from that liquor. That's what took his career. Messing with the alcohol. Couldn't handle it. And I like him. I liked him, but it just I think he needed like help with pass rush with Cowboy. Cowboy helped him get a lot of them sacks.
Yeah, he didn't really produce for any of the other teams he signed for. He signed with the Raiders, and then he actually played with the Cowboys, I think, a season or 2 ago.
Yep.
Like 2 seasons ago, something like that.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, alcohol and off the field issues just destroyed his career. He could have been, he could have been an all-time great if he would have kept himself, straight, stayed on that straight line, and but it didn't happen.
Yeah, this guy was awesome. Awesome player. It was just like, whoa, what happened? The 49ers, I think this was the season we go like 9-1 to start the season out. The defense was just thriving. And then, we don't win the Super Bowl. And you can't say that's the reason you go crazy or anything, or, start. That should be the reason that you're more dedicated or you're more, I don't know, all in. But yeah, there was some issues, some girlfriend issues, some alcohol issues. And if you're listening, folks, please don't ever go into an airport and yell that you have a bomb, because they don't take that lightly. That's not something that you play with. And if you're a football player, a sports announcer, if you're a movie star, a radio announcer, a YouTuber, a regular person, I highly don't recommend going in and yelling that you have a bomb anywhere, because they don't take that lightly. It's not funny. It really isn't anywhere. So guys, I appreciate you guys coming. Let's go around real quick and tell each other, what we are going to be doing the rest of the week real quick. And hopefully everybody can jump over to the NWO show or the other shows that's going on. We try to keep this show pretty short. We like to talk. This is a pretty big topic, the last three topics. So that's why we're breaking it down over a couple parts. And Korey and David will both be back on. David always, Korey's coming back on to do this with us again for special teams in a couple weeks. And when we have done all of our pictures, we're going to come back. We'll have something fun where we can put together our offense and defense, where we'll hopefully be able to have pictures to show everybody what that team would look like. So, David, I know you had an ordeal that happened today with your car. I hope your car gets fixed. Where are you planning on doing the rest of the evening, and where are you going? And thanks again for always coming.
Well, I'm about to go watch the NWO right after this, of course, and then more than likely relax, get some sleep. Got to deal with someone's insurance company all week, but worst case scenario, I have full coverage on it, and I'll just make it my insurance problem and let them go handle it. Yep, I'll do that too.
Yeah, that sucks, man. That really does suck. Korey, man, thank you so much for coming. We are going to do this again. What's your plans for the evening? What's for dinner?
Go have some spaghetti, I guess. And then I'm gonna watch the NWO and also get set up for Wednesday's trivia with the Giant Show. Get that all set up. Get the put the question the answers in what's on the banner, and then create the 49ers trivia show for Thursday. Get that all ready and set up. First, I gotta do the Giants one, then after I already got the show fixed. I just gotta put the questions. So I gotta erase the 49ers ones I just did last week's, and then put in the Giants.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta tell you, your trivia show. A lot of people they talk to me about it. They really like it. The way you've been doing it from the start and to now, it's just getting better. More and more people are watching, and I'm really excited. You got a new book, so if you guys are able to make it on Wednesday, Korey does a Giant show, and then Thursday, he does a 49ers trivia show. So please come and check him out on both days, because a lot of fun in the chat, and then there's always a cool panel at the end. So thank you guys for coming, and shout out to the chat. We had a lot of people: Damian Lee, Bebop. We had oh my gosh, Terradome showed up. So many people. Ryan, my wife Tony, of course. We really do appreciate y'all. And hope to see you guys come back next time. We're going to be doing it again on Monday, and we'll have Korey back in maybe about 2 weeks. So shout out to you guys, and thank you. If you guys haven't liked and subscribed to Korey Davis or David McNiner, please do it. And if you haven't done it to my channel, I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. With that, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump out and go check out everybody else's shows. So you guys have a good Monday. Thanks for coming.
Go Niners and F the Lamb.
Niners.
And the pool guy.
Yeah.